Welcome to God's Universal Wisdom. I'm ApostleLMCabell. And I want to talk to you the other day about why is it harder to let go than to hold on? Why does it take more strength to let go than it does to hold on? Now, before we can get to that, we must understand some things. Number one, truth is not welcome in every life, but it's still the truth. Alright? Now let's get it in. One thing God and life has shown me is that life is made up of moments of series or series of moments. And it's not about how many days we lived or how many breaths we take, but it's about the moments that take our breath away. Now the reason why it's harder to let go than it is to hold on to it is because it's to our preference, it's to our likings. This is what we like to do, this is what we really want in our life, whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent. And, you know, the religious world call it a struggle. The world itself call it stupidity. The more, how would they say this? The more prestigious world call it ignorance. But the bottom line is to the liking. Every man has his place in life according to his liking. So we need to let people go on and like what they like. And if it's not something you like, then you know it's not your cup of tea, and you don't mingle in that. You know, don't knock the next man for what he's doing. Understand what the next man is doing. And you can get past anything we call struggles and stuff like that. You know, that's just the way I am. No, that's just an excuse. You became who you are because of the choices you made and the choices that was made for your life. So don't say that's just the way I am. Say that's just what I became. Because we didn't come out with dislikes and likes straight out the womb of life. No, we didn't. We learned what we liked. We learned what we didn't like. And you know, that cost us, but today it should be paying you. Meaning, whatever cost you in the past, if you learn from it and you get the wisdom and the understanding of its own relevance, then you can understand that, okay, today I'm being rewarded for my ignorance on yesterday because I'm not paying no more, so that's in my pocket and not going out the window to somebody else's. You understand that today? All right. It's easier to hold on because, okay, what are you holding on to? Are you holding on to stuff you don't like? And if that's the case, that's what I call crazy, insane. Like, if you don't want to be somewhere and you don't have to be there, but we make excuses and say, no, I have to be here for the kids. I have to be here for X, Y, and Z. That's not always the truth. It's what you believe, what you tell yourself. I keep telling the people, as long as I be breathing, I tell people the worst enemy is you. You're the greatest liar you ever gonna meet. You're the greatest deceiver. You. Yes, you with the prayer cap. Yes, you with the beanie on. Yes, you burning incense. Yes, you turning it to the east, you know what I mean, praying 3 times a day. Yes, you. This self-righteous individual. Streets and the clubs, and it don't matter the religion. You. Stop deceiving you. Your ways is not all as great as you say they are. Your thinking is not always right, even though you know the Quran, even though you know today's mathematics, even though you know the holy and good book. It doesn't make you correct. And when you understand that, you become a better person. You seek for understanding in all things. Because you may understand, you may feel, oh, I understand that. No, you understand it to a level. The wisdom of God and the wisdom of life has levels of the same learning. So we must understand we hold on because we want it. So, you know, this and that. I'm not holding on to this blood pressure. Excuse me, I'm not holding on to this diabetes. And in reality, you are, because that's something we can actually control. We know we can manage that. Excuse me. We can really manage that. Like, you can manage your numbers. You can manage all that. But if you staying in a stressful environment and you saying, this is where it is. This is my people's. This is this and that. Won't you face the fact that you're scared to start over? Won't you face the fact that you're scared to be by yourself? Why are you still lying to yourself? And then the flip side to that is, you that are single, won't you just accept the fact that you don't want to come out of your mess, and you got to change if you become a couple or something with somebody. So you don't want to expose the real you. You want to continue in the lie and stop saying the Lord got you single. You know what I mean? Because the very first thing he gave was a family before he gave a belief, a hope, or a religion. So let's kill it with the lies today, and understand that it's easier to to hold on than it is to let go, because it's what I want. Yes, life deals us hands we don't like. We find ourselves in situations that we really didn't put ourselves into, but we was just by default brought into it or born into it. But listen, you're older now. You make your own decisions now. My thing to you is, why you still holding on to the excuse so that you can remain there? Then tell the truth. I like it here. I know it ain't good for me. I know it's killing me. I know it ain't real. I don't feel the love no more. My marriage is cold. My life is a lie. And and I'm faking when I smile. Then accept that. Because it's wrong for you not to accept it, and then you want everybody else you come in contact with to accept it though. And then you get upset with the people that's not having it, because they know that ain't the way it really is. And now you don't like a person and you give them all the credit that's not due. You mean, oh, they got a great discernment, I'm not going to stay around them, they got a relationship with God. They ain't got no greater relationship with God than you. All it is they can see a lie. A lie will surface just like the truth. But the truth only comes last, because you'll never know if it's the truth unless you experience the lie first. You understand what I'm saying to you today? All right, listen to me now, because I ain't going to be here long. You know what I mean? I'm talking about dying here on the face of the earth. Oh, Apostle going to die. We all going to die. What are you talking about, Apostle? We all getting up out of here. So I'm just trying to talk to you so that we can live a little better. Life can be a little easier, and you can become a little wiser. Because the strongest person in the room is the wisest person in the room. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? God is with wisdom. So if you want to be with God and not in a religion, stay with wisdom. Yeah, you heard it first here. I know you never heard that, but it's all good. Listen, I ain't make the game. I'm just changing it. God didn't give us no religion, people. God gave us a life to live. All right, back to you. So we realize that when life takes its journey and it runs its course, that means you living. And you learn in every way you go. You know what I learned? Let me hold that thought. You know what I learned? I learned that the very things that we find ourselves into, and we say the devil made us make this decision, or this and that. I recommend that you don't believe that, because no matter what decision you choose, it may be right down here, it may be wrong down here, or it may just be indifferent down here. It's still going to get you where you need to go. It may take longer, but it's still going to get you there. Because one thing God is not doing that you're doing is guessing on your journey. God already knows. That's why people say, man can't escape his fate. Because he's going to get to where they need to get to. You know what I mean? It may take them longer. They may not be in the place, meaning position physically, to where they need to get to. But God is all about you getting to understanding, wisdom, and knowledge. That's what God is concerned about. God ain't concerned about you getting to that address that you don't saw, you don't dreamed in, and prophesied to that big house. That's for your liking. You know what I mean? And again, man has his place according to his liking. I had to learn that. I had to learn to stop following and learn, what is it that you like, Lof? And then I started going through, you know, process elimination in my life. And I said, you know what I don't like anymore is I don't like when I put pressure on myself for the people that I love and it makes no sense. Like, for an example, I could be loving on y'all. If y'all know Apostle love on you. And if you don't know and you never heard about me, don't go to the religious folk only. Hit the streets. They'll tell you how Apostle love on them. You know what I mean? Like, go to the neglected, you know, the outcasts. They'll tell you how Apostle love on them. You know what I mean? Like, you don't let people treat you any kind of way and you know you loving on them correctly. Don't accept that. You know, I'm telling you, you'd rather walk away from it and be free of it than to put pressure on yourself. Now, let me give you an example. All right, let's just say my sister, you know, off the top of my head, my sister, I love her. She makes a phone call, you know, her rent, they're going to put her in the street. And then I just hear it in the news and then put pressure on myself to try to help her and to try to get her out of that situation and in reality, that's not fair to you. I mean, you can help them, but don't put pressure on yourself because they got pressure on them. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to you. He said, but that's not love. That's your denotation of love. Love don't always have to come with authority. You know, Apostle, you know, you're going to teach on that one day. A love without authority, because authority is a enforcing of obedience. You know, like it forces you to be subject. That's what authority is. And we throw that authority on ourselves all because we love this person. See, there's a different way you can love. You can love without authority. Like Apostle, I love you and I really care about you. You almost mean the world to me. But guess what? I can walk away from you. I'm not going to let you stress me out because you feel like bugging out. I'm not waiting on you because you feel I need to wait. If God told you to wait, hey, then so be it. And stop being so spooky with this God thing. God is not making your decisions, people. Cut it out. You lying to yourself. You're making every decision you make. God helps you with your choices, but he does not make the decisions for you, or we'll be robots. He wouldn't have breathed the breath of life in us. He would have put a battery in us. A remote control object. Come on now. Don't believe that. God ain't controlling nothing that you ain't giving him control of. I love you. I just want to talk to you today because it doesn't take a lot of strength to hold on. And this is what people are not understanding. This is why I didn't understand in the beginning why, you know, pastoring, I was young, and the prophets told me that God really called you, gonna be great, but not now. And guess what? They was right. At that time, I had like maybe 12, 13 ministries up under me, and I was like, really? I'm pastoring, I got 12 and 13 ministries up under me. It doesn't mean I was ready. It doesn't mean I was ready. Today is a whole different story, but it doesn't mean I was ready. So, you know, when I run across them, if I do, I'm going to let them know that word was true too. You know, all that you gave me was true. Didn't want to receive it because what I was doing was according to my liking. Yeah. Tell your pastor, get on the internet and start confessing. If they start confessing, they probably wouldn't even be your pastor no more. Because you're judgmental. And you don't want people to grow. I say in the ministries and the religions and all the beliefs across the world, let's start giving certificates of people being human, opposed to certificates of titles and positions. How about that? I don't even know how I got there, so you know that was God. But people, we need to understand for real, when you want to come out of something, yes, some things are easier said than done, but that's only because we believe that. That's only because we say that so much we actually believe it. You know, we believe the stuff we was taught. Yeah, there's a great chance 8 out of 10 things we was raised on is wrong, y'all. But it worked for my mother. It worked for my father. It worked for my grandparents. I don't mean it worked for you, though. So with that being said, let me help some of my brothers and sisters in religion. Don't get mad at your child or someone you love because they don't want to come where you go. That may not be their cup of tea. But I will say, but rest assured, on every journey called life, there will be an encounter with God. There will be an encounter with God. So that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, stop looking at the vehicle that's taking that individual to God. Just be glad it's dropping them off at his feet. I love you today. Apostle, love you today. I love you so much. I want you to understand this thing called life. It's not a game. It's a journey. It's a learning lesson. It's a learning curve. It's like, you go to school to get smarter. Pay attention when you walk out your doors. It's a school out there, people. Not just in an educational form in the sense of a book. You got to look at what goes on. Look at the choices and decisions you made, and you're going to tell me, you're going to blame that on God? That ain't right. This is what we do. Oh no, God wanted me. No, you wanted you. God told me that I would, and I can't do this right now, and because of this and all that. I ran that same line. Listen to me. It's what you want. God will allow you to do all things. That's why he guaranteed us in his word, if you make your bed in hell, I'll be there. Now listen to what that scripture is saying. That means you did that. You will bring you there. And as you learn to go on in life, you like, nah, I don't want to go through that no more. I don't want to experience that no more. You become wiser. You know what I mean? Your life becomes easier. Why is it that you don't know what you want until you really 35 years of age plus? Because all them years is spent on wanting and wanting and wanting. I want this. I want that. My son said to me yesterday, I was talking to him on the phone, and he's like, I said, man, you ain't gonna be sitting there on your throne like you King Vitamin asking me to do this and that for you, and it's okay. And he said, and he started laughing. He said, Pop, you crazy? I said, nah, I'm serious, man. He said, no, Pop, but you partially wrong too. I said, what you mean? He said, well, Dad, you gave me everything I ever wanted in life. I said, you know what? Touche. I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like, and don't get mad when your kids show you you're wrong. Don't get mad when your kids show that. But let me help y'all out on that too. The flip side is, don't you let your kid run your life either. You know what I mean? But understand, you gotta know the lie, experience the lie, be familiar with the lie, to even receive the truth, acknowledge it. You know what I mean? Or comprehend it. God himself is in every place, everywhere, y'all. You know what I mean? If I had someone say, well, I don't know if God is here, I said, excuse me? He said, and then I gave him an example. I said, so you don't see the wind blowing, but you're breathing, and the air is not here? And he says, well, the wind and the air is different. I said, explain it. Explain how the wind and the air is different. Wind is air in motion. So how is it different? Well, that's the wind. Please understand something. When God blew or breathed the breath of life into man, he breathed the air into him. His air. Do you understand what's being done here? That's why today we try to mimic it, duplicate it, counterfeit it, or even try to do it in a symbolic way, and that is called today's CPR. It's the same thing. God just didn't press and break your ribs and bruise your chest. He ain't had to get the lecture and clear. He just breathed, people. So everything we doing today is actually trying to mimic, or actually mimicking something God has already done. Yes, even down to evil. I don't know why people won't receive it. This is why they're so tricked. Because if God can receive evil, if God can accept evil, why can't you? or Apostle, I don't understand that, then put us to the side and wait for me to teach on it. But I'm telling you today, evil just is not self-existent. God, everything that was made and created, y'all. You know, you don't complain about the, you know, some people may do, but, you know, the night and the day is one. Good and evil is life. Such be life, people. Come on, our natures is twisted. And please, please, y'all, don't say because Adam ate of the fruit of the deceived wife. She wanted to be an authority. Y'all don't see that though. She wanted to be an authority when she brought that fruit to him. You know, and that's the problem today. A woman wants to be in a man's place. I don't even want to get in that. That's like a rest of the lifetime teaching, y'all. You know, and it's sad. And it ain't because, oh, he must be talking about the lesbians. No, it ain't just start there. I told y'all years ago when I was pastoring, the worst thing could have happened for a woman was women's lib. And it's not because I believe a woman should live in a box and a woman should not be able to do this. You know, I'm saying on both sides of that. I'm not just a woman should be in a man position, but a woman shouldn't be out front fighting in the war either. A woman shouldn't be climbing no telephone pole trying to fix no wires. I don't feel like that's a woman's place either. So don't try to box me in with your little mind trying to say Apostle don't like women leaders. That's not what I said. You know what I mean? If a woman was made to lead, you know what I mean, a man, then why wasn't it a woman was made first, then the man come? Don't get it twisted because you don't have this great evangelists out here today talking about, you know, being you don't need a man. They are destroying what God has put together. Period. Period. But that also is not an excuse for you just to go get with a man and just, you know, just try, you know, just look, people. It's confusing because man confused it. Not because I'm confused. It's harder to let go, man, because I've been doing this so long. It's what I want to do. And see, no one's getting to that point. They tell you everything, but it's because I want it. It's because I want it. It's because it's what I want to do. And that's the truth of the whole matter. That's the truth of the whole matter. You acting like you so holy, you know what I mean, and God is keeping you. But God see what you do at night in your room and ain't nobody there. God knows your thoughts. And remember, if you thinking it, the word says it's already committed. So don't act like you this some holy chick or this holy man. Just stop, y'all. Just stop. Just live your life, man, in the way that you believe is the best and leave everybody else's alone in a sense of judging. Let's just let this stuff go, man. We got to let it go. You know, just let it go. Everything you believe is not concrete. Everything you believe is not written in stone. I don't want to mess with y'all, man, but all these good books and you know, these religions, you know, I don't like to tread on that because I'm not here for your liking, but I don't like to tread on that because when you come to people's belief in religion, man, it's not a fight, it's a war. Some people really would die for what they believe in. And that's honorable though. Honorable from heaven all the way down here to earth. That's honorable. You know, it's just not honorable when the Iraqis do it to the United States of America. Now it's not honorable. But, you know, yo, believe me, more people prayed on 9/11 than any conference and convention you ever put on. Feel me? So you tell me what's the greatest. Again, it's easier to hold on than to let go. I just want to talk to you right where you live today, people. You know, it's enough for this dancing around the truth and crying and singing around the truth, man. The truth of the whole matter is you're not doing good because you're choosing and selecting. You know what I mean? You're not doing, you don't have because you if you're able. You don't have because you don't want it. Days ain't changing because you're not changing them. Not because they're not changing, it's because you're not changing. And guess what? You don't want it to change. Oh, Apostle, I really do. I really do. Then change, baby. Just change. Just change. I changed. You changed. But we both changed to our liking. Our own liking, not to your liking. So when you love somebody, don't give them that power that you will come out of what you are and become something totally different than what you really want to be. You'll never be happy, nor would you be free. Don't give that to somebody, that authority, man. That authority was given to you to rest, rule, and abide over your life, period. Period. We was believing ourselves before we even knew ourselves. You know what I mean? Like a baby, we probably was calling our foot anything but a foot in our little finite minds. Now today is the same thing. You calling this love. You know it's not. You calling this a relationship. You know it's not. How can you tell somebody you love them and when they need you or they reach out to you, take your time getting back? You could keep that, love. For real. You deserve better. Anybody alive. You deserve better. When you loving on somebody and they using whatever reason they using and telling themselves to keep preventing them from loving you back the way you deserve it, move on, people. Don't give no one that power. You know why? Because that ain't going to help them change. And you be saving yourself. So let's start using that strength on the other side. You know what I mean? Let it be easier. Let it be easier to hold on than to let go. And once you understand what I just taught you today, you'll understand that, you know what? That's right. You know what I mean? I know what I want and don't want anymore. And I'm not going to change for somebody else. Because you know what? Soon you change for that individual, they're going to change on you. And it's a merry-go-round. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. Life is a three-ring circus, they say. All of the ups and downs. And the merry-go-round. Going round and round. And round and round. And round. See, in religion they call that a devil song. Or a worldly song. Or a circular song. You need to sing that in your congregation. They'll get it better. But I do know, and I do understand, people, that what's greater than oxygen, what's greater than the blood running warm in veins to man is hope. And I know if a person have hope and they can make it, or their life can be better. So keep on selling and preaching hope. And I'm not going to get into the reason why I said you selling it, but you selling it. You selling it just like a person on the corner selling that fix to that drug dealer or that drug user. Believe me, you're selling it. But it's okay, I guess. If that makes your boat float and you believe that's what God is your mission, then don't knock it when a street thug person tell you their mission is to sell drugs. Because it's easier. Apostle, I'm talking to myself now, Apostle. Stay with it. It's easier to hold on than it is to let go. And once we start working on that and realize this, and then if you believe that it's not, then there's something wrong with your processing system. You know, the way you process stuff. But you know what? Again, in time. And you know what? You keep living, you'll get it. You'll understand it. You'll understand it. You'll understand a little better. Just keep living a little longer. You need to hit your head some more. You need to fall out and scrape your knee up some more before you get it. And it doesn't justify the long time. You know what I mean? That's stupidity to me when you just sitting there and you don't want to change. You know, that's stupidity to me. That's how I see when Jesus says in the good book. When the good book says, Jesus said, when you come into a home and love, I guess it's love and the truth or whatever, and they don't want to receive it, you dust off your feet and you leave never to return. I think that should be practiced more. You know, and if that is practiced more, then again, Why is there pastors? If you go by that scripture and you saying that people ain't listening to you, they ain't changing in the pews, why you go back every Sunday then? If you're doing it in love, you must not be doing it in love. Okay. Just asking. Love you today. Holla at the apostle if you got any questions or statements you want to say. I'm not afraid of your words, people. Believe me, I'm not. One love. I still love you. God's universal wisdom, apostle. I'm out, baby.